And it's Medical Monday with our hospital experts at East Cooper Medical Center. Today, Dr. Brody McCoy from the Southern Orthopedics and Sports Medicine joining us to talk about preservation and replacement surgery. And you and I were talking before. Sure. I feel like my knees are kind of getting shot after years of running and jumping out of perfectly good Air Force planes for a number of years.
Sure.
Tell us about looking at what we need to look at with knee replacement or just helping out the knees to allow them to extend longer in our lives.
Sure. Well, joint preservation surgery is a very, very exciting aspect of orthopedics. And what we do in joint preservation surgery is just that, try to preserve the joint and address the pathological or the damaged tissue within the joint, the tissue, the cartilage, and we leave the native anatomy that's unharmed or not damaged alone. Traditionally, if you see an orthopedist and you have problems with your knee or shoulder, and has some degenerative changes, then a total knee replacement or total shoulder replacement or total hip replacement is what is recommended. And oftentimes that is what is necessary. But there are plenty of times when something short of having a complete joint replacement would be beneficial, to the patient. The best analogy I can give you is if you had a problem with your brakes in your car and you went to the mechanic to have the brakes replaced on your car, and when he put a new transmission in there and a new engine and things that weren't necessarily wrong with the car,
a little bit much.
It would be much, particularly when you got the bill. You probably wouldn't be real happy about that. So what joint preservation surgery is just addressing the problems in the joints and leaving the native anatomy alone.
How does the differ of joint replacement benefits from complete joint replacement?
Sure. Well, so a total joint replacement is relatively big surgery, as you imagine it, whether it be the hip, knee, or shoulder. The entire joint is removed, and that requires often a hospital stay of 1 to 2 days. In joint preservation surgery, most of this is done through an arthroscopy, so we do it through a scope, and it's much more minimally invasive. Patients, go home the same day, same day of the surgery.
So preserving instead of replacement.
That's right. Just like your grandfather always told you, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
The same thing applies here. If it's not broken, if there's nothing wrong with that part of the joint, then we're going to leave that alone. We believe that the tissue that God natively put in your joint is better than anything we could put in there that's artificial.
And that's in between the knee joints that are all, because sometimes that what is it, cartilage in between gets worn out after a period of time, and it's like a little grinding going on, and it can hurt, it can be very discomforting. What is mainly what you see in your office that people come in with? Let's just start off with knee problems.
Yeah, the predominant reason people come is pain. They don't come in because they've got radiographic or x-ray findings of having bone on bone or anything of that nature. They come to see us predominantly because of pain, swelling, limited motion in the joint, and that what starts the evaluation of kind of what's going on, where the damage is, and if the damage is localized to one particular area of the joint, then this joint preservation surgery is something that is very beneficial to patients. Again, much quicker recovery, and we think the outcomes are much better.
Talk to us about Makoplasty?
Makoplasty.
Makoplasty.
So kind
exactly
of the whole spectrum of the treatment of joint preservation surgery. The majority of it is arthroscopy, where we just can scope the knee or the shoulder, hip. We can transfer cartilage from one area to the other, a non-weight-bearing portion of the joint to a more important weight-bearing portion of the joint to give better results to patients. And then as we continue to go down this spectrum, we do hip arthroscopy. A lot of people that traditionally get hip replacements can benefit from just having a scope of the hip, where we remove some of the damaged labrum and treat the cartilage in there.
Because the rest of the hip is still good.
The rest of the hip's still good, so we just address the problem portion. So, and then Makoplasty is a pretty exciting procedure. Now, it's an open procedure, very minimally invasive, but it's a robotic replacement where we come in, we get a CT scan of the knee, and from that we make a three-dimensional model of the knee, and we come in with a robotic arm, and we can resect just the damaged bone. Again, we leave the native anatomy that's undamaged, untouched, and we just address the pathological portion, and that's done with a robotic arm. The precision is within within a ½ millimeter, so it's a very, very precise procedure to have done. And again, it's an outpatient procedure versus the inpatient procedure, so it's very exciting. The work that's being done here.
Wonderful. Dr. McCoy,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Right on. For having me.
Remember, you can visit abcnews4.com/experts for more information on this topic. Up next is Restaurant Week. Low Country Live is 82 Queen in the kitchen. They're giving away a $100 gift certificate. You'll want to stay with us and stay by that phone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate the